Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to another edition of WWE Updates. We're now into the 2017-2018 campaign, you could say, in WWE terms. We're on the road to WrestleMania 34. Payback's going to be interesting. The initial plan was to have two brands and alternative pay-per-views. That's not going to be the case. We just don't have enough star power. And already with the way the brand split has went, we already have a lot of repetitive booking. Now, I could turn repetitive booking off, but obviously that'd be the easy way out. I kind of do want to make the save a little bit of a challenge, so it encourages me to build new stars. So that won't be the case. Unfortunately, there's two matches here that do suffer from that, which I believe are Nakamura and Styles, and Rollins and Wyatt. So we'll see how that goes. Basically here, there is a tournament for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We now have the WWE Championship, so two separate titles. We have Nakamura triple booked, which is all part of a storyline. And just generally, hopefully, a good card. You can kind of see who's going to be breaking through with the brand split and stuff like that. Also, I've just clocked it, thankfully, and I can change this right on video. I have an Emma and Big Cass video, which quickly should be changed to Enzo. Good job I clocked that there, or that could have been embarrassing. But so yeah, it's just basically trying to build up as many stars as possible, and I still feel like, you know, it might be another year before we do, in-game anyway, alternative pay-per-views. But I've enjoyed how the brand split has worked, and just really hoping that, you know, we can just continue to make as many stars as possible and really change the WWE up. And you'll see that with a couple of the pre-show matches and stuff like that. But I say, enough of me blabbering on, we'll kick on. It's a long show, 20 segments, 4 pre-show matches. Let's go. It's Payback. So 42,375 at the Wrigley Field, I believe that is a sellout. Opening match in the pre-show is a tag team match. It's a little feud we've been having there. And it's a decent pre-show match that saw the Detroit Machine Guns, which of course is Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, defeat the team of Neville and Tyson Kidd in 9 minutes and 46 when Alex Shelley defeated Neville by pinfall with his Sharonoi, I believe that's pronounced. Neville was a weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Neville's someone I want to try and build eventually, but obviously the Guns are so far ahead and over this year, they had to go over. B-minus 73, Kidd with 66 in-ring performance, Neville with the 56, Chris Sabin with an 80 and Shelley with a 75, so it's a good kind of mid-card, upper mid-card matchup. Tyson Kidd with technical and performance skills improvements. A few negatives there, more so for the low morale of the Machine Guns, who just really haven't been on shows. Kind of need to find a storyline for them apart from this, you know, need to use them more often on the Smackdown brand. Next up in a pre-show bout that had great heat and decent wrestling, Cesaro defeated Bobby Roode in 12 minutes and 54 with the neutralizer. This also had a B-minus 73. Both men didn't click, Cesaro with 73, Roode with 62. Struggling to find stuff for Cesaro to do, which is frustrating. But I think I do have something big planned for him, hopefully. And he'll hopefully be a breakout star in 2017, making his way into the main event. In this case, Bobby Roode improves his performance skills. Negative, morale of Bobby Roode, because it took him long to debut, and the worker chemistry. Next up in a pre-show match that had decent wrestling, but little heat. The Usos defeated the team of Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. in 10:23 when Jey Uso defeated Ospreay by pinfall with an Ally Us. Basically, Ospreay and Sabre Jr. have debuted on Smackdown. The plan is, obviously because of the lack of overness, that they're going to continually lose, but they'll be in like good showings. So like Ospreay's already faced Nakamura. But it was an open kind of match, so Ospreay's already gained like 25 overness just for these couple of matches. And hopefully we can keep it up. But a C60 performance, I'm pretty happy with that. Usos obviously going to have great chemistry. A 57 from Jimmy, 65 from Jay, 49 from Zack Sabre Jr. and a 44 performance by Will Ospreay. There were no skill improvements to speak of in this instance. Negatives, few there, but overall it's just building them up over time. And the final pre-show match, and a decent pre-show match with Darren Young defeat Sheamus in 10 minutes and 10 with the Heatwave. At B-Men is 72. Because of the thing with Kurt Angle, we've made Darren Young great again. You get a 75. Sheamus 64. And continue to build up Darren Young. Well, Sheamus is kind of like a mid-card, upper mid-card kind of enhancement talent to get folk to that next level because of his declining physical ability. Now time for actual Payback. So basically we start off with a hype video, your usual pyro and stuff like that to highlight our main feud and our main event. Our main event is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, which you get a B plus 86. Simple thing is, obviously Roman Reigns is a big mega heel coming out of WrestleMania. CM Punk obviously signed again on WrestleMania, re-debuted the night after. The feud's been going basically saying, you're everything this company wants, blah blah blah. I'm here to make wrestling that it should be. You know, the usual kind of thing that CM Punk was going on about before he left, and just felt it was a good feud. I also feel putting these two together, Roman Reigns has the overness advantage, but Punk has the psychology advantage, so hopefully these two superstars meshing with each other benefits them in each way. So Roman gets more psychology, and Punk gets a little bit more overness, so happy with that. And our opening contest in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament was an exceptional match which saw Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Kevin Owens in 9:56 with a Samoan driver. B77, it got the crowd hotter, 290 performances. Obviously it should have been a lot longer, but obviously Shinsuke's wrestling 3 times tonight. Nakamura's performance skills have increased. Overall, it was going to be capped because of the short match length, but as again, I wanted to book a tournament type thing, short tournament. So that's what it is. So Shinsuke's in the final for the World Heavyweight Championship. But Shane McMahon has booked a match between Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena, which is a B76. The reason this match has been booked is both the Intercontinental Champion and the US Champion are both on Smackdown. Raw needs a champion. John Cena likes to win things, so John Cena's been designated this match up against Nakamura for the US title. So B76, it was pretty short, but you know, just an impromptu promo from Shane O'Mac, who's the GM of Raw, and I've took up the challenge that was put on Twitter to make the GM of SmackDown Summer Rae. We're going to try and get Summer Rae over. Next up, in the second semi-final, in an exceptional match with AJ Styles defeat Dean Ambrose in 11:48 by pinfall with a handful of tights, a B80. Again, this was probably down capped because of the performance of Ambrose was a 95, Styles was a 92. They got the crowd hotter. Dean Ambrose is improving in his flying skills, and negatives here. AJ declining physical ability, so he's kind of getting like one last run before he'll drop down the card. Anybody that's got declining physical ability, I tend to want to bring down the card a little bit. Also, I gave away the spoilerist result when I said Nakamura versus AJ is a repeat booking, but no, it was just a cool little thing to give Ambrose something to do. Obviously, he's a Raw superstar, so we gave that kind of mystery factor for who AJ Styles was going to face. Next up, in a decent match, Jeff Hardy defeats The Miz in 10 minutes and 32 with a Swanton Bomb, a B77. I'm trying to build up The Miz, but also want to give Jeff Hardy kind of run as well. Both are on the Raw brand. Jeff Hardy's an in-ring performance is 66, The Miz was 74, and the Raw storyline of different realities has advanced, because obviously two completely different characters. Jeff Hardy's improving his performance skills, which is good, and negatives there, just both gentlemen holding back, and then consistency of Jeff Hardy, but I'm pretty pleased with that. Next up, and about that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Apollo Crews defeated Alberto Del Rio in 11:40 to become the Intercontinental Champion using the UA combination. This was a B-72. Del Rio was slowed down by injury. Apollo Crews was 76, Del Rio was 74, and it's the IC Redemption storyline. Basically what happened here was actually a mistake that I had made in my booking, which fell into a storyline. So the SmackDown after WrestleMania, Crews obviously new champion, faces Del Rio. I put the title on the line, but accidentally put Del Rio over. So Del Rio took the title. And then from there I just thought, let's build a redemption storyline. It's a good chance to build Crews up and gives him a second title run. So not one for hot potato title belts, but I felt it was a good opportunity to get Apollo Crews to the next level. But no skill improvements here. Negatives, obviously, Del Rio's got quite a few, and they were obviously knackered from going all out for 11 minutes. But yeah, it's pretty good. B-72, and it's a star we're trying to get to that upper mid card, so he's not going to be quite a main event talent, but he'll be around the IC scene for a long time. Next up with a promo from Enzo and Big Cass, the tag team champions, just talking shit really. B-75, they're continuing to get over, which is good, and this kind of exposure for them in pay-per-view is going to help that. And they defend their tag team championships in a decent match that had no heat, or little heat. It was Enzo and Big Cass defeating Gallows and Anderson in the Revival. Basically, we've got the Revival up, we've got the Vaudevillains up on different brands. We've signed Charlie Haas, so the World's Greatest Tag Team are going to be back. So plenty of tag teams on both shows. We're probably going to have 2 tag titles down the line. We just have to focus on getting the likes of the Revival over. They're still openers with their overness, but being in matches like this is a good opportunity for them to shine and hopefully get them over. But as I say, Enzo and Cass with the victory. B-74 matchup. Cass and Scott Dawson not suited to their gimmicks, but Big Cass with 69, Enzo 64. 80 for Anderson, 76 for Gallows, 43 for Wilder, 40 for Dawson. But as I say, the plan is to get as many competitive tag teams as possible, just really have a thriving tag team division or two, one on Raw and one on Smackdown. Carl Anderson with performance skills, and Scott Dawson in technical. The role that the club are playing here is absolutely fantastic. They're not winning matches, but they're helping other teams get better in terms of popularity and also in their skill sets as well. So they'll be like a very big help in getting the likes of the Revival over, and if they ever face them, potentially the Vaudevillains as well. Next up, we had a match that had some good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, as we had Becky Lynch defeat Paige and Sasha Banks in 1309. When Becky Lynch defeated Paige with Hard Knocks, Becky making defence number 1 of the Women's Championship. Another promising rating, that's what we're looking for, the B-75s, that's what I was kind of hoping for at WrestleMania. Unsure what I'm going to do with the women's division. Ideally, I wanted to incorporate it into with the men's wrestling so these ladies could get to upper mid card and eventually main event WrestleMania. Apparently, that would alienate too much of my of my fans, so I felt like I'll just keep it as a women's division right now. May split it into 2 and have a second women's belt, or just make the champion be able to defend against both and try and work around that. But very promising with Becky, Paige and Sasha, all young enough to keep carrying this division. The 74 for Becky, 75 for Paige and 71 for Sasha is good. And the women's division storyline has advanced with this segment, so well done from them. No skill improvements, which is disappointing. Only negative was the low heat of the storyline. Everything else was positive, so again, just fantastic. If I get them a little bit more over, they're kind of like floating, high 50. Just under 60 for their overness. If I could get them into that 60s and then hopefully get them in a B-, that'd be phenomenal and would only help the women's division. But I might just wait till I feel like I'm in a really strong position where I can afford to alienate some of the fans to incorporate them into the male divisions. They won't actually face the males, but it's just so they've got a better chance of gaining overness. Then I have a hype video for the feud between Finn Balor and Hideo Itami. B-72. Basically, Hideo's not really done much since the split between him and Nakamura, so he turned on Finn Balor. Just a little program between them on Smackdown, just to give them something to do, because they're not quite on the main event at the moment. The match itself had good wrestling, great wrestling, even in good heat. And Balor defeats Hideo in 13:23 by pinfall with a double knee gutbuster. A B-82, Balor with an 89 performance, far stronger than the 68 from Itami. The plan initially was to put Itami over until he started getting declining physical ability. So I'm very reluctant to push Hideo now. I think he's going to drop back into mid-card. Balor will probably, again, head towards the main event, but we need better from Hideo, and unfortunately, I think his future lies of putting people over and helping people improve their skill sets. No skill improvements to speak on, and you see their declining physical ability, both men with inconsistencies. I might maybe have a rubber match on SmackDown, but I really don't think this will continue on to Extreme Rules. And there we go, we have a massive matchup here. It actually delivered. So in an exceptional matchup, Shinsuke Nakamura defeats AJ Styles in 19 minutes 11 by pinfall with a running single leg high knee strike. Or is it Kinishiwa? I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's been a while since I've watched the Nakamura match, a couple of weeks. Nakamura wins with the WWE World Heavyweight title. So A91, obviously this was the 4th time these two would have fought, but I've done it as all out. I just tried to make it as good a bout as possible. That's why it's so low in the card, and it absolutely delivered. Nakamura won 90, AJ won 92 in the new World Heavyweight Championship storyline. So Smackdown has its champion, and it is Shinsuke Nakamura. He also improves performance skills, and again, that'll be Styles slowly going to get down the card. He'll probably match up against Nakamura, maybe to somebody else at Extreme Rules. Still to decide that. I've got a couple of weeks to decide where I'm going forward. Next up, we had a bout that has some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, which saw Sami Zayn defeat Derek Carter in 9 minutes and 50 by countout. B81. Basically, Carter's come in just saying, who is this kind of random underground underdog, Sami Zayn. Carter had obviously done his time in NXT, felt like he was ready with the main roster. Properly going to give him a push. I'm horrible with naming people, so I felt like Derek Carter was a good way to use both his gimmicks, both his characters together. Wanted to protect him, but at the same time, Zayn needs to win to keep him strong. So I'd done an 87 performance from Zayn, 73 for Carter. I felt like it worked out okay, maybe I lacked a bit of time, which is why it's probably been capped, but I'm happy with that. A lot of people are probably wondering, a lot of matches, not many angles. The angles are coming more so near the end of the show. I tend to use my main event talents to have angles to get as best a show as possible. Next up, we then have an angle right enough, where it's just Bray Wyatt talking about his match with Seth Rollins. This is for the WWE Championship. Wanted to go somewhere different and push Bray Wyatt. It's pretty much just going to be Wyatt on his own. Him, Harper, and Rowan were together. Harper's still here, but Rowan turned up to a show completely out of it on painkillers, so I had to obviously send him to rehab. So I might just split him and Harper and give Harper a good solo run as well. But B85, hopefully this match delivers like Nakamura and Styles. I do feel this might fall apart and it may be a very low rating. And no, this actually delivered as well. Fair play, boys. In an exceptional match, Seth Rollins defeated Bray Wyatt in 1852 with a Phoenix Splash. Rollins makes his first defence of the WWE Championship title. B+88, that really surprised me. Wacky Psychologist, we're going to have to try and find a worker in the main event that's got the high psychology stat to help both guys get enough skills where they can carry these kind of matches. But Rollins in 94, Wyatt win 90, and it continues the championship storyline. No skill improvements in this instance. Always going to be that fear of the stamina issue for Bray Wyatt. The psychology was a negative and inconsistency, so maybe a bit of shorter matchup, and that could have possibly been a bit higher, although it may have been capped. But good performance from Rollins and Wyatt. The company's certainly in good hands going forward. And then in about that had fantastic heat and great wrestling with John Cena defeat Shinsuke Nakamura in 16 minutes and 15 with an attitude adjustment. John Cena wins the United States Championship. So obviously I had to get the title to Raw, so I felt Cena's the best guy to carry it. He can do the US Open Challenge again, and you have that joy where Nakamura's won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but is clearly fatigued, and obviously loses the title here. I think it tells a good story. B+83, not as strong as it could have been. Cena was tiring though, which is disappointing. He's really starting to struggle, so he may drop down the card, unfortunately. And it's quite ironic that happens as well, because Nakamura's been in 2 matches already. But it is what it is. He's going to have a strong hand going forward. Unfortunately, both men didn't click. Nakamura the 93, Cena an 81. No skill improvements. You see your negatives here. Stamina for Nakamura, chemistry, worker chemistry. Both guys being baby faces, but I felt it was a good dream match to put in this kind of card. Declining physical ability for Cena. I do want to give him another world title run, but that's not helping his cause. He's only 14 in this, so I kind of need to get him 2 title runs out of neighbour, but we'll see. Maybe a long shot for Money in the Bank? Remains to be seen. Next up, so we really need to hope the main event works out, because an 83 plus in your co is not great, so hopefully, if we want to make A good rating here, we need this to deliver. I'm putting a lot of faith in Punk versus Reigns. Hopefully it does deliver though, and we can get pop everywhere. But Reigns cuts a good promo on Punk. B plus 88, continues the storyline. Roman's always going to look like $1,000,000 in these promos. His chemistry, his charisma has went through the roof basically. His promo skills are just so much better. Like he has improved, probably double his start from like a 44, I think it is, to like low. It's like mid low 80s. It's really a mass improvement. It's incredible how he's developed, but fair play to him. And then have a hype video which only gets a B77. This is worrying. How will the match draw though? I was worried about The Rock and CM Punk, The Rock and Roman Reigns, but how can CM Punk and Roman Reigns draw? Let's find out. Average. I know B80 is still decent, but it's very average when it's your main event. But in an exceptional match, CM Punk defeats Roman Reigns in 23:47. The Pepsi Plunge. B80. People are wondering, why would you put CM Punk over Roman Reigns? You're such a mark. The reason for this is, I need to build CM Punk up. CM Punk's overness only is 80. Roman Reigns can take a defeat. Roman Reigns is going to look strong after this, trust me. And it gives me another superstar in the main event. It's like just building somebody up to create effectively another megastar going forward. But Punk had an 83, Reigns with 97, so you can see the difference there. It continues their storyline. CM Punk improving performance skills, just booking decisions. Punk's morale because he missed Mania, because I've had him signed before then, and a lack for an associated hot storyline. What? They've got a storyline? Okay. But we end the show with CM Punk celebrating his victory, and then Roman Reigns just boots the hell out of him. He beats him down and stands tall to end the show. So no matter what, Roman Reigns is always going to look strong. A90. So I think we may make maybe about an 85 here. But I'm still quite happy with that, you know. It's not a great event. Well, I think the mid-card was very good, you know, the Smackdown matches. Unfortunately, Reigns and Punk just couldn't carry it together. Overall, it gives me somewhere to go after this, and Punk versus Reigns will probably continue. So B plus 83, not amazing. I think if I had better placement of matches, we'd have done a lot better. But we don't lose pop, we don't gain pop. It's just an average show. But I say if you put Nakamura versus AJ as main event, and you have Rollins versus Wyatt up there, you have a much better show. But pretty disappointing, you know, when your main event 80 is worse than Sami Zayn versus Eric Carter or whatever. But it is what it is. I'm not like angry with it. There's always going to be that wee thing where after the brand split, it's going to take a bit of time to get into the swing of things. But we'll put it out as a good performance from Styles and Nakamura. AJ is pleased. Nakamura's pleased as well. But I say the next couple of months are just going to be completely building up a new mid card and slowly making a transition. And some of the main eventers will drop to upper mid card, and they'll be replaced with fresh faces. But the likes of the Shield will be main eventers. Wyatt will be up there. I just really try to get people low 30s ideally be the main events. So we'll have a look. Got a fantastic review, so I can't really complain about that. Let's look here. Anything else overly we need to look at in Champion of AAA? Mini Psychosis. Another show for the women. Mia Yim with the Wild at the Weekend. Apart from that, I don't see anything else that overly affects us. A lot of my deals are expiring, so I'll have to go and check that out. That's cool. Unfortunately, DirecTV were not happy with Payback, so I'll need to improve on an 83 the next time. Naito, obviously, we've got a paper appearance deal. He could be going to House of Hardcore, that's cool. GSO needs some victories, so we'll try and sort that out. One other thing we'll look at here is we get a 2.75 on pay-per-view. What? That is absolutely horrible. I'll have to have a look at that. Why has that happened? That should not be happening. And Will Ospreay's too small, says Alan Anderson, and Punk says Dash Willis too clumsy. So I'm going to keep these up. No, it was on all my major outlets, DirecTV, Main Event, Sky Box Office, and Sky Perfect, but only drew 1 million buys. Just to put that into perspective, not direct, it's not looking for Company Wars, WWE, and our top 100. That's in perspective, a 14.28. And that's how low that was, just as bad as Beast in the East, which was only shown in certain countries. So really surprised why that was so low. Really, I honestly can't think why that was so low. Thankfully, we still made good money. We still made £5 million, probably not the greatest amount of profit, but we're at 100 million. The only thing I can think that has possibly put that down is the way the world is going in the US and Canada. So it's falling in Canada. It's still at a decent level though in the US, which is worrying. It's pretty poor in the UK. So could that be a reason why the fact that it's so low in the UK? Very disappointed that's as low as that. That's unbelievable considering it was on all major outlets. But we'll sign Nixon now. She'll go to NXT Women's. That's cool. It's fine. Signed her. Bobby Fish is getting a new contract. But yeah, it's baffling. But the main thing is, I'm still having fun with the save. Still top dogs. Size is still probably much, way over where we need it to be. Everything's over 71, so we're pretty much an international company at national level, basically. But I'm not going to get too upset with that. Just a bit surprised. It's up to me just to keep building stars, improve the morale of the locker room. Because we've got a lot of guys that are kind of. It's really just finding where to debut. And I'm going to have to sit and do all these contracts. So, have you ever seen a buy rate quite drop as much? That's like a 12-point whatever drop from WrestleMania. Quite significant. But let me know how you're finding booking WWE. Really just if you've done a brand split, how you've kind of worked it. Like, how have you managed to balance having each side having enough stars? Have you gone out and bought new talents in? Who have you built up to kind of be the new face of certain brands? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Let's say if you could all leave any comments, likes, subscriptions, all deeply appreciated, guys. And I say we carry on. Next event is Extreme Rules, which is in the third week of May, so 3 weeks to build that up, and then I have to decide who's going to be my Money in the Bank winner. It's events like Money in the Bank which kind of made me kind of think I don't really want to do a brand split because I couldn't make that an exclusive pay-per-view because you kind of need everybody going for a briefcase. But we'll see. I just need to work on putting the right guys over and really work on my Raw main event. Hopefully Punk and Roman Reigns can sort stuff out, or we can get somebody else involved in that feud. But the other thing I'll add is when Superstars expires, I'm really thinking of bringing in ECW. Obviously NXT still its developmental brand, but with so many guys like up and not having a lot to do, but need storylines, need to get over, young talents. But why not give them like ECW, make it an hour instead of the half hour that Superstars is, and then give them a championship and stuff like that. We'll see what happens anyways. As I say, as always, thanks for watching. And yeah, let's try and improve on that 83 B+, and that very poor buy rate. So until next time, I'm Tweet1 Maxwell. See you all real soon. Bye bye.